Now in Missouri, first responders are scrambling to keep up with the surge in new COVID patients. NBC News correspondent Scramble Brewster joins us now from Springfield, Missouri. Shaq, good morning. I know there in Springfield you spent the day with firefighters who are often the first to arrive and respond when a patient calls for help. What did you see while you were out with them? What did they tell you about this recent wave of new cases? I mean, how many calls were you responding to? Tell me about the day.
Yeah, Savannah, you really get a sense of how many people are impacted by the surges that we're seeing in these many communities. I mean, we often talk about hospitalizations and think of doctors and nurses, but it's firefighters who are usually the first people to encounter these patients before they officially become hospitalizations. So I want to show you a little bit of my time with the firefighters yesterday, and listen to what the fire chief told me, who last month he said we were about to witness a mass casualty event happening in slow motion. Well, listen to what he says now.
Our community is still in crisis. This is still what I'd consider a mass casualty event because we continue to be overwhelmed and inundated with sick and sicker patients than we've seen before. So the scale, if you look at the COVID spikes, that's what it feels like. It's like riding that initial uphill on a roller coaster, except this one we're not sure where it's going to break and drop us down the other side. Just treating these patients who are so sick. They're helpers. They want to fix problems. It's what we do. And a lot of these patients we can't fix.
This department says they average about 14 calls a day that involve possible COVID symptoms.
Now, Shaq, health officials say that where you are, Greene County, hospitalizations have increased by 54% in the last month. What are you learning about those hospitalized patients? I know that with this Delta variant, we're seeing different types of trends in who's hospitalized, who's getting extremely sick, who's dying. What are officials monitoring there in Greene County?
Well, they're saying that many of the patients are largely unvaccinated. As far as the average age of these patients, it may be younger than you think. It's 37 years old, and 93% of the patients that they see are unvaccinated. And then there was this one statistic that stuck out to me, that when a patient goes from just being hospitalized to ending up in the ICU, 51% of those patients who are COVID positive end up losing their life because of this virus. That does not include the people who are still fighting this virus in the ICU, but you're talking about more than half of those patients dying once they hit the ICU.
And Shaq, you mentioned mostly unvaccinated. How does Greene County compare to the rest of the country in terms of residents who've gotten the shot, and what's being done to get more people vaccinated there?
This is a point you hear not only from firefighters, but from doctors and nurses. The population, the unvaccinated population here, is much higher than the rest of the country. Just look at these statistics here. Here in Greene County, this is the county that holds Springfield, Missouri, only 42.6% of the population is fully vaccinated. If you compare that to the country at large, that's 58% fully vaccinated. You're hearing the push for folks to get vaccinated. I'll tell you, here at this firehouse and at firehouses across Springfield, they have opened up their firehouses to vaccination clinics. They know that they're trusted members of the community, so they're hoping that people come to them to get that vaccination. But it's clear that, at least at this point, not enough people are vaccinated to stop the surge that they've been experiencing for much of the past month. Savannah, Joe?
All right, Shaq, incredible reporting with that embedding there. Thank you so much.